Greetings, Bat Family, and welcome to Holy BatCast, brought to you by real fans for real movies. You can find us all over social media as Holy BatCast, so that's on Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast, you will find us. If you're a big fan of the show and you want to support us, you can do that on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/holybatcast. And as always, a big old thank you to our patrons. You guys are amazing. Got to give a shout out to a new patron, a big old shout out to Freakbase. Freakbase, we've been like online Batman friends for many, many years. And I don't know your real name. I just know you as Freakbase, but he was kind enough to pledge on Patreon. So Freakbase, you're awesome. Certainly appreciate the support for years now, and I appreciate you making it a little more official on Patreon. That's very generous and that's very kind, and I hope you know it's appreciated. So thank you to Freakbase. This one's for you, and thank you to all our patrons. You guys are awesome. What else? I'm your Bat host. You can find me on the socials as Andy DeGenova. So Twitter, X, Instagram, Letterboxd, Facebook, Threads, yeah, all those places. And the show is part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. You can check out all those shows at rf4rm.com. Now, this episode of Holy BatCast is one that we promised a couple months ago. Can't quite remember when we did the last one like this, but few months ago, let's just say that, we had a fun little chat about 10 Batman and Robin toys from 1997. And I was like, oh, we got to do this again with Batman Forever, but we can't do it with Batman Forever without Brendan Lowe. So the day has come. Also, we're going to review the next episode of The Batman. You thought we forgot. You would have been right. We did forget, but we're back. We're going to do another one of those. And then time permitting, we'll answer a couple emails as we like to do. So joining me, I just told you we wouldn't do this episode without him. You can't talk about toys or Batman Forever without Brendan Lowe. I think it's against the law. I think if I were to try, I would get a package from Brisbane and I would open it and there would be venomous spiders. And that would be the end of me and the end of Holy BatCast. And we don't want to risk that. So Brendan's here to talk about Batman Forever toys. Hi.
Although if that happened, you'd send me that Val Kilmer chest mold that you've got.
Yes,
because you're going to
yes,
give me
I
your
would.
will. So
Yep, that is it's all yours when I pass on, my friend.
Don't tempt me with a good time because I will kill you for that.
Well, you know, it'll be totally worth it. You know,
Yes.
if I gotta go, that's fine. I accept it. Yep, go with a smile. So, yeah, you will get your revenge, and you'll get the spoils,
which is sweet collectibles.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I mean, yeah, that's actually. I didn't even mean to do that, but I posted that today on social media. I didn't do it because we were talking about Batman Forever tonight, but I guess that just lined up, didn't it? Worked out well. I swear I already sent you a picture of that going, hey, look what my friend sent me.
I can't remember it. I feel like that's something I wouldn't forget, but
I know, but also, with the time
I'm an old
difference
prick now, so
you are. Yeah,
memory's the first to go. I can't remember what the second thing is.
Well, it could have been one of those where, like, I sent it while you were asleep, and then when you were catching up in the morning, you missed it, or who knows,
Maybe.
So anyway, welcome back.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah, happy 40th, old man.
Thank you. Although,
welcome.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm still younger than you.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I still look better than you, so what would you rather have? Anyway, I love you. Happy birthday. Hope you had a good one.
Thank you. It was good, yeah.
I would have come to the party if I could have swung the airfare.
I know. I was holding out hope that maybe there was, Jess had arranged one last surprise for me and you were going to jump out of my cake.
That was the plan. But Jess is like, don't come.
With George Clooney style nipples, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. Jess didn't want me to come because she's not sick of you yet, which is very sweet. She's going to let me know when she's done. And
double-edged sword, Yeah. She's not sick of me, which is great, but she's, keeping us apart, which sucks. So.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well. Anyway, we do have a third who's sitting there awkwardly being like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be listening to this, but you are, because we let everyone in on our deep and passionate love. It's what we do here on Holy. It was Valentine's Day. This is the time to express love. Anyway, he did join me for the Batman and Robin toy conversation, and he's back. He's one of our favorite friends. Great guy, loves the Batman, knows so much about Batman. It's Jay Yaws. Welcome back, Jay.
I was mostly sitting here doing mental mathematics to figure out how much younger I am than both of you.
Ooh.
in Brendan's case, it's like 14 months. So, whatever. It's about the same.
Oh, so your 40's coming soon.
Yes, my 40 will be next April. Not this coming April. I've got one more. But then next April, and then I will be joining you guys in the 40s, which is the new 20s, I've been told, but the way I feel right now, it might as well be the original 70s because
it's not so bad. It's fine.
I used to spend all day Friday in my office chair with a heat pack on my lower back. You know how it is.
A water bottle?
No, it was an actual heat pack because my lower back was killing me. So.
Oh my God.
Sounds amazing.
See, at least I'm not there. Okay.
Either way, thanks for having me back. It's always good to be on the show.
It's great to have you back. And like I said, when did we do that, Jay? When did we talk about Batman and Robin toys?
I want to say it was like November or December, something.
Okay, so yeah, I was right. A couple months ago.
Not too long ago.
Something like that. But that was so much fun. And we love our toy conversations. We had a great time. And I even think that, as we were doing it, I think we even said, oh my God, Brendan would love to be doing this.
Yes.
And then when we posted it, I think he sent me a note being like, I wish I was there.
I loved all the toy episodes, like all of them thus far that you guys have done. I'm like, I wanted to be there for that one.
I know they're so fun. I don't know how much the listeners love them, but we love doing them. They're so fun. Once we opened up that that avenue for episodes, I've been having a blast when we go back and we talk about collectibles and toys and items and things like that. It's a good time. So Jay also had a great time over the past 6 months, maybe a year, writing articles about these different toys on Batman News, which is what inspired the Batman and Robin conversation. And it also makes for a great cheat sheet for us to do it again. And so you went backwards, right? You started with Batman and Robin and kind of went backwards through the different lines.
Yeah, I did the Batman and Robin one almost as like just a gag, just like, hey, here's a weird post idea, let's do Batman and Robin. And I was like, well, okay, whatever. And then I did Batman Forever because I had a lot of fun doing that, and I was like, well, might as well just round out the Batman anthology, the Burton Schumacher anthology, whatever we're gonna call that. Then I had too much fun doing that. Did like Mask of the Phantasm and Return of the Joker as one post. I did a bunch of 90s toys, the Young Justice toy, all sorts. And then eventually I just got way too burnt out on it and I decided to stop. But it was a good like 2.5, 3 months worth of posts. So I got plenty of words written about a lot of toys that I'd never even seen before in my life. So, it was good times.
Well, I enjoyed perusing them in my free time. They were a lot of fun because it's like a little trip down memory lane, like stuff you forgot about and some of the random toys that they've made over the years. So those were a blast. So for anybody listening, if you want to go check out the all-inclusive lists that Jay did, those are all on batmannews.com. Because like Batman and Robin, for Batman Forever, we just picked 10. We can't talk about the whole line. We'll be here all night, and I got other things to do. So we picked 10 of our favorites, and that could have been our favorites because we think they're the coolest or the best. We also could have picked them because they're the most random or silly or whatever. So we're going to do that. So let's get it started without further ado. Let's take a look at 10 awesome Batman Forever toys.
Who's got the firepower to face crime every time? No question, it's Batman Forever. The terrifying Two-Face strikes Gotham City, but Street Fighter Robin rips in, and the mighty flight of a tackling Batman puts the fiendish face in his place. And in the sizzling Batmobile, Batman lights it up on a drive for justice, making Two-Face pay twice the price. Heads, justice wins. Tails, evil loses. No question, it's Batman Forever. Figures and vehicles each sold separately, batteries not included.
Now, because we wanted 10, and there's 3 of us, what we did was we each picked 3, and then we agreed upon one that I knew we all would have picked anyway. Because everyone, I think, who knows any Batman Forever toys agrees on what the best Batman Forever toy was. And we'll talk about that. It'll be last. It'll be the final one in the countdown. But we each picked 3 otherwise. And so, Brendan, why don't you kick us off? What's the first Batman Forever toy you want to talk about?
Look, I'll start with something different because long-time listeners to this show will know what 2 of them are. I'm pretty sure. But the first one I'm going to go with the actual name of it is the Batman Forever Batcave Power Center. But people might know it more as like the Batman Head Mighty Max style playset, if that makes sense. So yeah, I got this. Oh, we were away on holidays in like June 1996, and yeah, I can't remember if I bought it with my own money or if Mum bought it for me. But we were away at the coast, and just in a nice holiday apartment for a week. And yeah, I got this playset and loved it. I played with it so much that I mean, my memories of this really take me back to that week away. But like, I played with it a bunch when we got home and everything too for quite a while. But it was really cool. It came with like, it's the Bat Cave, obviously in the shape of the Val Kilmer Batman head, and it had a little Batman figure, a little Two-Face figure, a little Batman Forever Batmobile that you could spin around on the turntable, and you press a button and it would shoot out of the set. The Batcave. What was that?
I said, oh, that's really cool. Like, I'm looking at the set and it just says like Batmobile blasts off, rotatable bluff. It's kind of small. But yeah, so it really does just shoot out of there.
And it was a multi, like all the Batcave playsets are pretty much. It was a multi-leveled Batcave. It also came with a little. It's not the Bat boat, but it's almost kind of like a cross between the Batman Forever Bat boat and like the Bat Whirlybird from like the cartoons and stuff, where just nothing you could really sit Batman in it because he had a platform across his feet. But yeah, it was like just another little Bat vehicle that was in there. And I never had a full Batcave playset, believe it or not. I had so many Batman toys, but I think they were also just not that available over here back then. So I never had a proper Batcave playset. So this was the closest I came. So yeah, I played with the hell out of this thing. And it's funny, just a side note, that same week away at the coast in mid 1996, we went to a shopping center and we walked into a Kmart, and down the front of the Kmart, they had this random like clearance section. And I don't know, I must have found them in storage somewhere. And they had a stack of the official movie magazine from Batman 1989.
Oh wow!
And this was in 1996, and I never had that. I had the official movie book, and I had the movie magazines for Batman Returns and Batman Forever. But yeah, randomly in mid 1996 at this Kmart at the Sunshine Coast, I found a new copy of the movie magazine from 1989. So this playset always makes me think of the movie magazine, and the movie magazine always makes me think of this playset. So yeah, it's just a cool little, and they released one for the Riddler as well, which I also have. But my fondest memories are of the Batman one, of the Batcave.
This one's super cool, and we talked about these because I think that between Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, they did rename these, and they started calling them, I think, the Micro Playset or Microverse Playset, something like that.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can tell you because I have one right here in front of me. Micro Playset.
Yeah,
Micro Playset is what they call
several of these with the Batman and Robin, line.
Exactly. So, because we talked about the Batman and Robin line, I am now the proud owner of a couple of them.
You're welcome.
But these were these are so fun because you get a lot of cool play in a very, small, transportable little toy. And these, especially the Batman head and the Riddler head, I've seen those for years, but I've never owned either of them because, again, I was a little older when Batman Forever came out. I didn't get any toys. But yeah, this is one I've always seen make the rounds, and it's really fun. And looking it up, I'm like, oh man, it's super cool. So these now, because I searched for photos, they're gonna keep popping up as like, hey, don't forget, you can still pick one of these up, and I'll try to fight.
And
the
you
urge
will.
What? What are you talking about? No.
Yeah, I never had any of these either, but I did play with a lot of like Mighty Max sets, and even I think they did a bunch for Star Wars too, and I had a bunch like that. So I used to love these little, just fold up and play sets and everything, because you get a lot of bang for your buck. You can fold it up and take it to grandma and grandpa's or
So I'm about to say they
wherever.
were great if you were spending the night at your grandparents' place or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you can still take something with you and get a lot of play out of it, even if you can't take like a full-sized action figure set or anything.
Sweet. So yeah, I think the whole power center is such a weird weird term for this. And again, I think it's why they changed it for Batman and Robin, because I think nobody knew what the hell that was supposed to mean. But yeah, it is Batman's head that
And
folds out into the Batcave, and it's super cool. So
and
the Batcave Power Center.
I was wondering what that little thing was just near the bottom of the playset. So it is like another little action figure there. It kind of looked like it was maybe just the back fin of the Batmobile that was detachable, so it didn't break off in the packaging. But I guess that's what you were talking about there, Brendan.
Yeah, it's like another little vehicle, and of course too, because it's based on the concept art of Batman Forever, like all the toys were. Kilmer's got that weird black thing on his chin that
Yeah.
wasn't in the movie.
Oh yeah. I didn't even notice that, but you're right.
Yep.
Cool. All right, the Batcave Power Center, the little Mighty Max fold-upable Val Kilmer head. Cool. All right, Jay.
That's the technical name.
That
Yeah,
is obviously. Jay, what is your first choice?
I think I'm gonna go with something pretty safe and simple here, which also has a couple little caveats. I am picking the just basic Two-Face action figure. I picked this one because of most of the toys in this line, it is the one that has the most screen accurate like costume and paint job of anyone. Batman, Robin, Riddler, Two-Face, anyone. Um, and he comes with like a cool little good and evil coin, so you can keep flipping either to make your decisions, or in that one scene toward the end that completely misunderstands Two-Face, just keep flipping it till you get the answer you want.
Hey, Jay,
Yes,
hear that?
yes.
Can you hear that?
I can hear that.
That's the coin, my friend.
Nice.
Wow, you had it handy.
Yep, right beside me on my Schumacher shelf.
Nice.
Oh my.
I have one from the Dark Knight, Blu-ray set, but not this one. So, there that's all I have to say about that, really. Anyway, but no, I mean it's a cool enough figure. The thing I don't like about Two-Face or the Riddler in the Batman Forever line is they have like the molded. Two-Face has a molded gun in one of his hands, and like the Riddler has like a molded joystick in his. So that kind of takes away some of the play factor of those. But I mean, regardless, this is a pretty cool action figure, and he has that cool huge turbocharged cannon accessory. So I thought, whereas the Batman and Robin toy line had tons of amazing villain action figures, which was kind of surprising, I honestly felt that Batman Forever was a little lacking, and went with what I felt was maybe one of the better ones here.
I agree, it's one of the better ones. What's funny is many years ago, and I think I've mentioned this in the past, because I didn't like Batman Forever for when it first came out. There was a point sometime probably 15 years ago where I was like, well, I should own some Batman Forever stuff, but I hadn't really. And so at that point, I eBayed a couple things, and I was like, well, I want a Riddler, a Two-Face, a Batman, and a Robin. I at least want the four, right? And so this was the Two-Face I got, and it's right here on my shelf behind me right now. And he's still in his package. I haven't opened him, but I bought him because you're right. He looks like he's right out of the movie. And you, as we talked about when we talked about Batman and Robin, we tend to lean towards the ones that are not the crazy variations that make no sense. We like the ones that it's like, oh yeah, just like the movie. And
Exactly, yeah.
Two-Face is pretty spot on. So did you have this one, Brendan?
Of course I did.
Oh, that's right. You had the coin.
It's one of the ones I can't actually I don't know where the figure is these days. I still have the coin. I don't know where the figure is, but I do have it's exactly the same except for the color. I do have the Two-Face that was in the 2-pack with Riddler, which kind of shits me because I don't know where the Riddler is from that pack anymore, and it was more the screen accurate Riddler. So I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same, except
put in that one for a minute.
What's that? Sorry,
I said put a pin in that one for a minute. We'll come back to that.
It's kind of the same, but just the purple. But yeah, that's what I have. But thankfully I still have the coin, which was my favorite part of that pack, and I liked the way you heard just before, like how it makes that like sound when you flip it. Like a normal coin doesn't do that, whereas this one does, and like the coin in the movie did that. So that's why I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, cool.
Hang on a second. Oh, dang it. Well, mine makes a sound when it hits the desk, so, you know.
Well, we get the idea.
You got the advantage, Brendan.
So, all right. All right, so the standard Two-Face Batman Forever action figure.
Yes.
Boom. All right. Well, so for my first choice, I guess I'm gonna follow up with what Brendan was talking about, because I also chose one of these micro playsets, although again, circa 1995, for some reason they were called Power Centers. And so I picked the Batmobile Power Center. So this is the one that is the Batman Forever Batmobile, but it unfolds and there's Gotham City inside. And it comes with Batman, the Riddler, Two-Face, the Batboat, a helicopter. And I didn't own it. It just looked really cool. And after our Batman and Robin conversation, these micro playsets, like, they really grabbed me. I'm like, God, they're really fun. I love them. So I ordered the Batman and Robin ones. And this Batmobile Power Center, guess what, guys?
On the way?
It's on the way. Yeah.
I've never seen this before. This is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, because
like
it folds up.
Bigger than like the Batman head one, but still small by the looks of it.
Exactly. And it folds up. And so at the bottom, there's the river with the Batboat, and there's like a little bridge. You get the little Nigma Tech tower, but then there are the multi-levels. And at the very top is like the Bat Signal.
Is that like the Hippodrome near the river from where the circus is? Or is that just a bridge? I think it's a bridge.
Oh, yeah, there's a bridge. But you do see part of like, I think that's, Wayne Industries right there.
Yeah, it looks like the building that
has like
that Ed Begley Jr. gets pushed out of. Yeah, you're right. And there's even Lady Gotham.
That's down there. Awesome.
Yeah, what I like about this, and I pointed that out in that the post I wrote for this is really cool because you got all that the play area inside, and it looks like the little helicopter has the spray painted.
Oh, it does, the yin and the yang.
The yin and the yang. But you fold this up, and you've got yourself a Batmobile toy there too. So you could just zoom that around, so it's kind of two toys in one, and I just think that's really cool.
And it launches the Batwing.
That it does.
So yeah, this is because I was looking at the other ones, this one kept popping up as well, and I was like, you know what, I deserve it. I've been a good boy this year, so I deserve it. And I told Catherine, I'm like, there are going to be a couple things coming this way. And she goes, you shouldn't buy it before you do the episode, because then I can listen to the episode and get it for you. And I was like, well, too late on this one. But yeah, this one I didn't own. I will own it very soon, but I just thought it was great because you're right. Like, it looks great on the shelf as a Batmobile, and then you open it up and all of Gotham City's in there. So like, what's not to love? And it feels like the bigger, more robust version of the Batman one that Brendan talked about.
Yeah, and is that supposed to be the bomb that?
That's what I was thinking.
Or is it oh gosh, geez, what is it? The ball and chain or whatever that breaks through the bank building?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know. It doesn't have the bank guard on it, so
to me it looks like the bomb that was going to blow up the circus.
Yeah, so maybe that is supposed to be the Gotham Hippodrome thing down there.
You know what? In a couple of days, I'll let you guys know. I'll confirm.
When you're the envy of all the other 40-plus-year-old dorks.
So yeah, there you go. The Batmobile Power Center. It just looked awesome, and I dig it. So, yep, I thought it deserved a shout out. And the cool thing is, this was one where it was also on your list, Jay. And I was like, oh, I was going to do that one, and you're like, okay, you can do it. I'll, because we'll talk about it regardless.
Yes, because we need to share the love here, and I am all about sharing the love of these toys.
Heck yeah. So very cool. I will say there are quite a lot of these out there, sealed and never opened. They're not super cheap, but like if you want one bad enough, you can find them. As opposed to the Batman and Robin Frozen Gotham or Arctic Gotham, there was only one of those, which is why I had to buy it. Like that one's hard to find.
I do not blame you because that one looked awesome.
Well, I'm gonna open it this weekend. I'll let you know. All right. So moving forward, Brendan, I'm gonna tell you, the next one you should talk about should be Ultimate, because you've talked about it before.
Well, I've talked about both of mine before, but that's the one I was going to go with. But
Okay, great.
Mine second choice is the Ultimate Batman from Batman Forever. I got this for Christmas 1995. I loved it then. The thing, it's one of those things like, when you're a kid, the new version of something is like the best one, even if it might not be, categorically better. It's just better because it's new.
Hence our love.
I had the
Batman
Ultimate
Forever,
Batman from
Brandon.
Batman Returns. What was that? Sorry.
I said, hence our love, our mutual love for Batman Forever.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I had the Ultimate Batman from Batman Returns, which is, the Michael Keaton, however many inches it is. It's about, I think it's like 30 something centimeters in my speak. And look, it's awesome. And it's, the most screen accurate figure, I think, that came from the Batman Returns line of any size. He looks amazing. It's absolutely, the Michael Keaton Batman. And then the one for Batman Forever came out. I mean, with Michael Keaton, he's standing there, arms by his side, legs don't move, arms move a little bit, but that's the only sort of posability you can do with him. He's kind of plain as far as that goes. But then when the Batman Forever one came out, it's Kilmer in the sonar suit, very screen accurate. Again, apart from the bloody, looks
Chin
like
strap.
a goatee on his chin. But he's in a really cool pose. He's holding the Batarang. It's not the one that he throws at the end of the movie, but it's the one that you saw a lot of the promotional artwork stuff was always this Batarang. And he came with this really cool base with the bat symbol on it. He was on my shelf from Christmas 95 till, God, pardon me, I don't know how long. I mean, probably till I was maybe 14 or 15, when I sort of started to, get too cool for this kind of stuff, and he got packed away for a while. Then he came back out again in 2005 when Batman Begins came out, and I just dove all into this stuff again.
And you embraced that there's no such thing as too cool for this.
I was not too cool for it. Trust me. It was just, look, it was the, late 90s. Superhero cinema was very few and far between, as we all know, after Batman and Robin. And anyone who listens to this show knows that, look, this is one of my favorite collectibles because in 2011, I met Val Kilmer and he signed the base. But that's, not part of the reason why I picked it today. It was the nostalgia side of it. But yeah, it's just a really cool, big display piece of Kilmer's Batman. And look, even if it wasn't signed, it'd still be on my shelf proudly to this day. Like I love it. It's a fantastic piece.
And it feels, it's almost more of a statue than an action figure,
Yes.
right? It seems like he's like his arms are movable, but that's it.
That's again. And he moves at the waist as well.
Okay.
Pardon me, but none of these Ultimate figures were very posable. I've got the one from the animated series as well. Like, again, it just kind of stands there, arms by his side. He did have a function where if you press a button, the bat symbol on his chest, and for some reason his eyes would light up.
Wow.
But yeah, very limited movability for them. They are more like an old school statue.
Yeah, like perfect for the shelf.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Jay, do you remember the Ultimate Batman?
I may remember seeing it. I didn't ever have it. I didn't have a lot of Batman Forever is what got me into Batman. I still really don't remember a lot of the toys, like getting a lot of the toys. I may have got one or two of the action figures. but didn't actually buy many toys. It was more like the comics and everything that I started reading around that time. Um, so I'm sure I remember seeing it and hearing Brendan talk about it, and maybe I've seen one or two at a toy show here and there. Uh, I've seen it before, but yeah, I mean it's a cool piece. I like the pose. It's similar to a lot of the those new oh, sorry, hit my pop filter there. Whoops. Uh, like the McFarlane toys, how they'll do kind of they're kind of statues, they're more upscale action figures. Like I have one for the Batman that's like the Jim Lee drawing
Yeah.
coloring. Even though I'm just kind of like, yeah,
I've
whatever
got that
on the
one too.
Batman look. It just looks so cool just because with like the red and the black and everything. It just looks really cool. So I like that. And yeah, this looks really cool. And I mean, I just like hearing your waxing nostalgic about it just because it has a ton of great stories to it, Brendan.
Thank you.
Seriously, sincerely, it's great hearing us all hearing people talk about their loves for this stuff.
Yeah, this is one that I thought the same thing, Jay, is that it reminds me of those McFarlane statues that come out now that are like $40, but they're beautiful for $40.
Yeah.
Like they're really good, and I kind of hate him for doing it because they're so cool and so affordable that I've got a lot. I also have that one from the Batman. It's kind of like the one quote unquote toy I got from the Batman because I was like, well, I want that one, and it's actually a great piece for just that. But like, I got the Keaton Batman from the Flash. I got the Hush Batman. I got Blue Beetle. Like they're really cool. Anyway, this seems like the precursor, the ancestor to those. And because Brendan has brought it up so many times over the years, it is one that every once in a while I'll do a little search for it because it is a great Batman, especially for Batman Forever if you're a fan. So yeah, I've considered picking him up over the years. And now, because again, I was just searching for pictures, now I'm getting the notifications of like, oh, don't miss out on Batman Forever Ultimate Batman. But this one have not made the jump yet. But like you said, if you had this from back in 1995, it's a perfect shelf piece now.
I'm surprised you haven't taken the dive on this one yet.
Again, I've flirted with it, so you never know. But for now,
And if any Batman is worth flirting with, it's the most flirtatious Batman.
He is.
Val Kilmer Batman.
All right, Jay, what do you got next on your list?
Next, I'm gonna go with also just kind of a weird one. Never had, but I just like when movies had toys like this. The Batman Forever electronic pinball game. I like Batman. I like pinball. I'm sure this was a piece of crap that really didn't work, but who cares? Because,
Totally.
I mean, those little Tiger Electronic games that had, one button to move and maybe another button to do some sort of action, and then you just play the same level over and over and over and over and over again a million times until, you just break the game. There really doesn't seem to be a lot to it, but it's just cool and fun and weird and random, and you don't see a lot of stuff like this anymore with even more kid focused movie properties, because even then the action figures that they come out with are either aimed at kids or aimed at collectors. There's really not just let's throw stuff to the wall and see what sticks. I just saw this and it looked fun and decided to pick this one.
I love it because you're right. It's so random. And I think to what you're saying, I like the idea of it more than I'm sure I would actually enjoy playing it.
Yes.
Because you're right. It looks super simple and kind of cheap. And so I'm sure, even though the box promises real pinball action and realistic sounds, I have a hunch it doesn't play like a real pinball table. But I do
had
love
the Batman Returns version.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was okay. Like, you'd obviously flick the buttons and send the ball flying and stuff. It'd hit the little circles in there. It'd make little pinging sounds, and the scorer would would go up and everything, but it got to the point too where you just sort of play it without the noise because the noise was just annoying.
Yeah.
And what's funny is there's a real Batman Forever pinball game that I'm pretty sure I've played before, and it's pretty stellar. If I haven't played
Oh, the actual one that was like in arcades.
yeah, if I haven't played that one, I've played a couple of different Batman ones that are really cool. So
Yeah.
it's like, take it home and don't get anywhere close to the same value out of it. But still, at least you can own it.
But Brendan probably doesn't like this one because the image of Batman has the little chin strap.
It always bugged me.
I,
Like
you know,
the Robin mask and logo was always wrong as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to that pretty soon.
Yeah, the Batman Forever electronic pinball game. Like, so I love this as like the random choice. I was sad though, Jay, because you said you were going to pick the Magic Rocks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And the Magic Rocks deserve an honorable mention because it doesn't get more 90s than a Batman Forever Magic Rocks set.
I just figured you'd want to devote an entire episode to Magic Rocks.
Oh my God.
And was waiting on my invitation to come back to talk about that.
Well, yeah, let's dedicate 2 hours to that sometime in the future.
Okay,
but yeah, that picture was making the rounds a couple weeks ago, and I think it came from Dinosaur Dracula, who's my favorite nostalgia account. And I think he's the one who posted it, and I was like, God, yes, that is amazing. Like the Magic Rocks, they're like, hey, Batman's going to be big this summer. Let's get the license, and we'll just put a little bat boat in the box they can put on top of the water where the Magic Rocks are underneath. But somehow it works. So that I just thought that was awesome.
I don't remember if I got it from that or a joke post from that unofficial Michael Keaton Academy of Getting Nuts Facebook group.
That's a good account too.
That just has a bunch of kind of Batman movie meme stuff. But
I think what happened is Dinosaur Dracula posted it, and then they grabbed the picture and then changed the text to be funny, and then reposted it.
Which either way, it's like it's Magic Rocks. It's already funny.
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, that was a thing for people listening who are younger than us who don't know what the hell we're talking about. Google Magic Rocks. They were little colored rocks that you would put in an aquarium, and they would kind of grow vertically and look like stalagmites. And
there was a Batman and Robin one as well. I'm just
was there?
Yeah.
Was there? Yeah. So anyway, that wasn't an official choice, but it's still amazing because it's not really even a toy. It's just Magic Rocks.
It's minutes of fun.
Yeah, right. But I swear I had Magic Rocks at some point in my youth, not the Batman version. So that makes me sad because they looked so cool, and they grew up, but then I feel like the water would get all cloudy and mucky, and then you'd throw them away.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the real choice was the pinball game, so I love it. And my next choice is one that we had already alluded to, so let's talk about it now, and that is the Riddler and Two-Face action figure 2-pack. These 2-packs, man, they're great. Because you get two. Mm-hmm. You get two. And so this one is a little bit of a mixed blessing because the frustrating thing is that the Riddler is probably the most screen accurate Riddler figure they made, but you had to get it in the 2-pack.
Mm-hmm.
And the Two-Face is slightly recolored from the one that we already talked about. So they should have just put the two accurate ones together. But once you get over the fact that Two-Face is slightly differently colored, the color scheme on this one is really cool anyway. It's less bright, which is actually kind of cool. It's more of the darker purple. And so it's a nice variation that isn't essentially accurate, but it still looks good and in the spirit of the one from the movie. So it just is a good villain 2-pack where you get a really good looking Riddler who does not have anything molded to his hand.
Yeah.
And
irritate the shit out of me trying to play with the Riddler.
Yeah. And then you get, Two-Face that, yes, the color scheme is different, but he still looks really good. He still has the pistol, but that one's easier to play with because, Two-Face would have a pistol anyway.
You understand that one. It's like, come on.
Yeah. So, I just feel like the Riddler and Two-Face 2-pack was a heck of a bargain back in 1995. And had I been buying toys, I would have been very tempted by this one. This is one I do not own. It is one I have not ordered, but I do like it. And so I thought the 2-pack was worth a shout out, especially because the single Riddler is such a weird one where he's kind of from the movie, but he's got too much like gack and like, he's got like a weird like electronic monitor on his chest and the joysticks and like there's just too much
It's meant
other
to
crap.
be you clipped there was like a silver thing you clipped on his back, and you'd press the button, and like an arm with a circular thing would come up, and that would be like him like draining the brain power. Like you'd put your action figure of Batman or whatever in the little circle thing, it'd be him like draining the brain power. So that's why he's got all the stuff on him. But yeah, like most of it was molded on. So like the lever on his arm is meant to be him operating the machine, but once you take the thing off his back, it just looks dumb because there's all this shit on him that doesn't mean anything.
Right, exactly. So they overdid that one. The nice, simple, straightforward Riddler and Two-Face in the 2-pack was the way to go.
Yeah.
If they had just added the coin, perfect.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I mean, I might have been tempted to pick this set if it had the coin. I really only picked the standalone figure because I thought the coin was a nice touch too, and the screen accurate look. But yeah, like you said, I like those colors. That it's obviously not the colors from the movie, but it also doesn't feel like they just picked two random colors. Like
exactly. Yeah.
They're still very conscious of colors that still work within the spirit of the figure, because it's that darker purple and then almost like a goldish leopard print, and it looks really sharp. I like it a lot.
You might argue, if you can remove yourself from what was in the movie, you might argue this is a better look than what's in the movie.
I would not argue against that at all, in all honesty. I mean, it's a nice look.
Yeah, because it's like unmistakably Two-Face, but just not quite as like, in your face,
It's not as loud and garish as Two-Face from the movie.
Exactly.
Which is loud and garish, so whatever.
Shocking.
Brendan, there's lots of neon in Batman Forever.
What? The heck you say? All right, so the Riddler Two-Face 2-pack, a double team of fiendish villains.
Love that little slogan too.
Hell yeah, you're not lying. They should add a Sugar and Spice 2-pack now that I'm thinking about it.
There are so many characters from this movie, like the hearing aid bank guard. He needs to be in there, and
it's Batman, yeah,
yeah, it's boiling acid.
Oh my god,
love that guy.
So
Dick Grayson's brother that he had for no reason.
Yeah. They could have had Two-Face thugs with the ski masks that are half and half.
I'm actually surprised they didn't have one or two of those, because Bob the Goon got one. So
I know, right?
Frostbite.
Yeah, Frostbite.
Our man Frostbite.
They were marketing the hell out of this movie. Like, there's so many. There's just so many bloody toys and tie-ins and stuff that have got nothing to do with the film, but they whacked a Batman Forever logo on them, and be damned if you didn't buy them.
I'm sure you guys saw Sugar and Spice showed up in the Harley Quinn animated series.
Yes.
That was amazing. I was like, oh, hell yeah. I love what you did there.
I hate that I know this. I also want to say the Jenner sisters or someone like dressed up as them for Halloween. Like,
wow.
Yeah, like this past year, I saw it in like one of those just random like news accounts that pops up on my Twitter feed for no reason whatsoever, other than it's a uncontrolled wasteland at this point. But yeah, they did a pretty good job. I'll give them that.
No, well, I mean, hey, that makes me like them a little more.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we're on to our final choices, Brendan.
So my final choice, again, I've talked about this on this show before. I think we talked about it, might have been on the very first toy episode you and I did many years ago. And it's the Batman Forever Batmobile. As a kid at Christmas time, I was never a kid who really wanted anything specifically. Like, most of my Christmases growing up, like you'd go to see Santa at the mall and, what do you want for Christmas? And I'd just say Batman stuff. Like, I never had any...
Not much has changed.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I never had anything specific in mind. I just wanted Batman stuff. But 1995, I was very, very clear in that I wanted the Batman Forever Batmobile.
Santa, look me in the eyes. Batman Forever electronic Batmobile.
Well, that's the thing too, and
You'll poke your eye out, Brendan.
I had never seen one in the stores before, and this was my last year being a Santa kid as well. And because I'd never seen it in the stores, I was just like, well, Santa can bring me one because he can get any toy, you know? And
he can make it. You can
yeah,
have
exactly.
That, make the elves work double shifts. Make Brendan his Batmobile.
And thankfully, the man in red came through, and that Christmas morning under the Christmas tree was the Batman Forever Batmobile. And I mean, for me, it was just the fact that I had a bunch of Batman Forever action figures and little things here and there, but I couldn't play with them properly because Batman didn't have the right Batmobile. You know, like I couldn't put a Batman Forever action figure in the Batman Returns Batmobile because that didn't make any sense.
No, that would have been unacceptable.
No.
You're
right?
Not at all.
Yeah, that would have cemented your place in hell.
I did for a little while sort of use the Legends of Batman Batmobile because it also had like the big wings. Do you remember that one? Like the silver gray?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would use that one because like I said, it was closer, but it certainly wasn't what I wanted. And yeah, I was over the moon happy when I got this thing Christmas morning 95 and played the absolute bejesus out of it. Mine the light up function doesn't work anymore. I think because there were batteries in there that probably sat in there way too long and corroded the the little bits inside. But you know, it still looks really good. It's a bitch of a thing to dust because it's, you know, got the light up part inside and try and get in there and, you know, dust it all and everything. But it's again the artwork and everything and the part of the movie that you literally see for a split second. The wings come apart. That back fin on the top splits in two, which again, a lot of the artwork, some of the toys like the die cast and stuff were literally of it. The wing was always split in two, which again I always thought was weird because it's literally a blink and you miss it shot in the movie with the wings spread apart. But I think it was always meant to be like when it hit top speed or something, like the wings would open up. But it gives you that option, and the two smaller fins on either side actually kind of flip back, and there's like they don't function or anything, they don't shoot anything, but they're also meant to be like little guns and stuff that fire. And of course you can't have a Batmobile without the front of it firing.
Well, I like the art. I was noticing that on the artwork is how like the back fins, yes, they imply that there are guns in them, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember any guns in those.
No, and like the front shoots off as like a little missile and stuff. But yeah, it's just a really cool. I mean, look, I like that Batmobile. I always have. You know, the Keaton Batmobile will always be my favorite. It's the Batmobile. It's yet to be topped, and I don't know if it ever will be. But again, it was that whole new, you know, no pun intended, the new car smell of Batman Forever.
Intend it. That was good.
Intend your puns, you coward.
it was you know, it was the new Batmobile, so for me it was better than anything that had ever come before it, and I wanted that toy so damn badly. And yeah, I was a good boy because I got it Christmas morning, and I love it, and it takes pride of place on my Schumacher shelf in my office.
Is it a one-seater or two?
One.
All right. Do you have a little Batman in there?
No, I don't.
No, it's just
We'll get to that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, very cool. But it did light up back in the heyday.
Yes.
I want to hear that story.
Nice. All right. Well, I mean, and that's what you want for Christmas. Like, you know, is you want like the big, you know, exciting Batmobile, the big toy, the one that you're not going to get just for getting an A on your report card. So,
because I used to like getting surprised with the Batman stuff that I'd get. Like, I never asked for, you know, the Ultimate Batman. I never asked for the, you know, the Batman animated series version of Ultimate Batman. Like, I just get to the tree on Christmas morning and there'd be packages full of Batman action figures and vehicles and stuff. And I was always blown away by it. So I never felt the need to ask for anything specific because I loved getting Batman stuff, but also not expecting anything specific and getting that real surprise as well. So yeah, it was kind of weird for me to ask for like, no, I want this is what I want. And man, I would have lost my mind if I didn't get it.
What's funny is you saying that you couldn't put the Batman Forever Batman figures in other Batmobiles, because I don't know about you, but when I look at the cover of this box, it kind of looks like there's an animated series Batman figure in there. Like just the head sculpt and the eyes, how they are.
Yeah, it does not look like the Batman Forever one.
It does not. So that was just funny.
Yeah. So you didn't get the one that plays the Offspring when you push the button?
No.
Oh,
No.
Shake it up, shake it up.
You know, I was hoping it'd come with little En Vogue figures as well to put around it. But
that could have been a 4-pack.
Or at least Don the Dragon Wilson. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, they really did miss a trick having the Neon Gangsters as action figures. That I feel like, yeah.
I mean, unironically, that would have been really cool and made a lot of sense because there's only 4 characters in the entire line. So they really could have, put some Stormtrooper-esque, thugs.
Other bad guys, for Batman and Robin to fight, for sure. Awesome. The Batman Forever Batmobile. I'm glad that Santa brought it. And that's why he never came again, because he's like, well, I've done all I can do here. There's nothing left for you, Brendan.
He went out with a bang.
And now Brendan has taken up the mantle.
Yeah. Well, because fun fact that, he died the following year, which is why, nothing ever came after that.
That's true. I remember that.
He fell off a roof, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So the Batmobile, very cool. All right, Jay, what is your final choice?
All right, my final choice is a combination of amazing, I love it, weird, random, stupid, anything you could possibly think of. Street Biker Robin with launching grappling hooks and battle staff. I love this figure because it is so dumb. It's 25-year-old teenage Dick Grayson. He has a little earring. He has a giant R on his chest for no reason other than he's actually Robin, but he's supposed to be Dick Grayson in street, attire. He has little motorcycle saddlebags that launch grappling hooks. He has a bow staff with a chain on one end and then a knife glued on the other. It is so silly and ridiculous, and I have it hanging on my wall because I love it that much.
I love that you picked this one. I'm looking at this trying to figure out how those saddlebags work. It's very confusing.
I do not want to take it off the card to find out how they do or do not. I think you're supposed to be able to like fire them, and then there's like a little bar in the middle that he can do little quote unquote trapeze off of. But again, I do not want to mess with the pristine displayability of the action figure on my wall.
And that's fair. I'm just trying to does it clip on him somehow so they actually are on his legs?
Or do you just put it over his head and he has 2 saddlebags on the side? I don't know.
It confounds logic. I don't understand, which is why I'm glad you picked it, because I remember this one on the shelves. Because it is a total WTF where they're like, well, we want street clothes Robin, but we're not going to put him completely in street clothes. We're going to make this whole weird, the headband and the R t-shirt and
the headband's the best.
Sleeveless. It's so weird. And whoever did the artwork, man, they did Chris O'Donnell dirty.
Yes. Because it's almost there, but not
quite. Yes. It is clearly Chris O'Donnell, but his face is just off enough where you're like, oh, poor Chris O'Donnell. He looked better than this.
But then the action figure just looks like, generic guy from any other, action figure line in the 90s.
He looks like a generic henchman from Batman the Animated Series.
Exactly. And it's funny because, they also, I think they had the Robin motorcycle too. That was just kind of a big gray mass of nothing. That was another action figure you could get. And I'm pretty sure those saddlebags wouldn't even fit on there. So it's not like it's meant to be a part of that.
And it had like a pull cord, like a rip cord thing on it. You pull the rip cord and the bike could go. Yeah.
I almost picked that Robin cycle just because it's a Robin cycle.
Yeah. But the one,
but you're right. It was a little too generic looking and didn't quite make the cut. But yep, they were all in on Biker Robin because that's how Bruce convinces him to stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if maybe that gray toy motorcycle is what one of those Vincent Black Knights is supposed to look like when it's reassembled. I don't know. I haven't Googled that, but we'll say that it is.
All right. Street Biker Robin. I think you still need a loose one for, to play with. I understand wanting to keep the artwork pristine of the one that's still on the card, but I think you need two. He deserves it.
I'm sure I could go on eBay and find a deal for one of the better figures, and they'd just throw in a loose Street Biker Robin for no.
That's true. All right. Street Biker Robin. Okay. And my final choice, I feel like I had to go big. And I'm shocked that neither of you picked it. So I just felt a responsibility to pick the Batman Forever Batcave.
One of us need to have it so we could all play with it.
Exactly.
So I'm glad you did.
And there was more than one. There was the one that they also sold for Batman Returns and Batman the Animated Series and Batman and Robin. There was that one. But this was the specific Batman Forever one that was one of a kind and was like really big and really long. And I didn't own it, so I still don't quite understand how it all goes together and collapses into making it storable. Because when it's all spread out, it just looks massive because there's multiple platforms and they connect and stairways and everything. And it's just huge. And Jay, I think in your article, you called it the USS Flag of Batman?
Yeah, that sounds like something I'd write. So sure.
Because the USS Flag was like that big G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, right?
Right, yeah.
But yeah, this is like the most extra and huge Batcave I think they ever made. Maybe except the BVS one, which we talked about at Christmas time. That one was super extra too. But this one, yeah, like it's the multiple levels and how there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 separate platforms that are all connected by stairways and zip lines and everything. It just seems so big and so impractical to actually set up. But like, that's what makes it magical is like, it's just, there's a lot to it. And if you're going to be playing Batman Forever, you want this. Cause you can have all kinds of adventures on this thing. Some of the features include a Bruce Wayne Batman transformation elevator.
Oh, wow.
A computer control console, a rotating Batmobile ramp.
Still with it.
A missile firing station, villain trapping spikes, which are pretty amazing. The Batwing docking station, a quick attack cable, and easy storage feature. That's the one I'm curious about. What's the easy storage feature?
Does this all like curious about the docking station?
Yeah, like does the biggest one open up and then they all go in it like a nesting doll? I don't know. Somebody who owned it, let me know. I'm very curious. But yeah, there's a lot to it, and it's pretty awesome.
I think their entire, because I mean, this was so expensive and so hard to find. I'm pretty sure there are like entire communities online right now of people who try to track down loose pieces so they can like kit bash the complete thing together.
Really?
Yeah, just through going to like yard sales and estate sales. For some reason, I think I've seen that maybe shared somewhere that people will chronicle trying to put together this whole thing because it's so hard to find the complete set by itself.
Well, I'll tell you one. If you want one complete in the box,
$5,000.
Okay, not quite that. $650.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so honey, if you're listening, you don't have to get me that. You really don't. There's a loose one. Oh, So, okay, this is shady. There's a loose one that it says excellent condition, whatever that means. It's going for 170, where you're like, oh, that's not so bad. But with $227 of shipping, so they're doing
course,
that.
yeah.
They're doing that shady thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so even then, you're talking what, $400?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. This is in demand and hard to find, and I guess for Batman Forever fans, it's something of a holy grail.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, it is really, really cool, especially the fact that it's entirely unique unto itself.
Yeah,
The shared mold that they used across the different movies and lines and everything was a cool bat cave.
yeah.
But this one just by itself, it fits the movie, it makes sense with the movie, and I mean it just looks really cool that they did one unique enough to justify making two of them for this entire line.
I mean, that my only real complaint is that I wished it looked more like the one from the movie, but
Intruder alert, intruder alert.
yeah, like kind of because like it's like the one from the Schumacher films. It's like this big semicircle, right, with like the Batmobile dead center,
Mhm.
and then the Bat computer behind it, and the entrance off to the left, and then the suit vault off to the right. Like
It's
that
a
would have been
good-looking
cool.
Batcave. It's a good looking Batcave.
Yeah, that would have been cool to actually have one that was actually screen accurate. But that aside, just the fact that this one is so extra, I dig it.
And that they included the villain trapping spikes. That's
Spikes, like just like the
always
movie.
important.
If they'd had the villain trapping spikes, maybe the Riddler couldn't have blown up the Batmobile.
Yeah, Alfred.
Yeah. Or maybe Dick Grayson wouldn't have survived to finding the Batcave. It could have gotten him too.
Also true.
So many problems could have been solved.
But then
it could have stopped Vicky Vale from finding out the secret in Batman 89.
It's true.
These villain trapping spikes, it's a feature that needs to be implemented moving forward. Brendan, it's too bad you didn't get one more year with Santa. You could ask him for this.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
I think Brendan's regretting not asking for this instead of the Batmobile.
No, I don't know. I love that Batmobile.
Do you recall this one from back then?
No, like I said, the big Batcave playsets and stuff was just something I never saw in the shops here.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, the Batman Forever Batcave playset. I wonder how much it was new in 95.
I wouldn't doubt it was nothing short of like $100 at least.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what things cost then. I think the figures would have been $5. Like a single figure would have been $5. The 2-packs probably would have been 10. The Ultimate Batman was probably 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Batmobile was probably like 30, 35.
I had a Millennium Falcon from a few years later, like the Power of the Force sets when they started doing new Star Wars action figures, and that was $100. So I could imagine this going for about the same, if not more.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right, well, that's my final single choice, and that brings us to the choice we all probably would have had on our lists, so we're just going to do it anyway. And that is the Guardians of Gotham City Batman and Robin 2-pack. And I think we mentioned this when we talked about toys in the past, is for the Batman and Robin action figures, this was the best Batman and the best Robin, in my opinion.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because these are the ones that look the most like the movie, and you got both of them, which is amazing. What's funny is that the artwork on the card, the Robin suit looks pretty accurate to the film, and then the actual figure is what you were mentioning earlier, Brendan, where it's based off the concept art, so the logo is off, the mask is a little off.
Oh, no, but the mask is correct compared to all the other Robin figures, because the other Robin figures, it was all the... How would you describe the mask?
Like, it was more like a butterfly.
It was green with like pointy tops and stuff, whereas this one, like the mask is actually pretty... It's actually pretty close, yeah. It's just the R really that's off.
Right.
And the cape isn't two-toned. Like, it's not black on the outside and gold on the inside. It's just gold. Really, but that's, you can take that.
Sorry, Jay, you were saying?
Oh, and I said the cape is really short too. I mean, it's
pretty short.
Dick Grayson in the comics Robin cape length rather than the Robin and Batman Forever cape length.
Yeah, but regardless, these were the closest you could get. And again, much like we talked about with Batman and Robin, with these, it's like you made so many Batmen, you made so many Robins, and almost none of them look like the movie. And this was the closest it was. So again, whenever it was that I decided I needed some Batman Forever stuff for my shelf, I bought the single Two-Face, I bought the single Riddler, and I bought this 2-pack. So this 2-pack is still sealed up on the shelf behind me, because yeah, if you're going to own any one toy from Batman Forever, it should be the Guardians of Gotham City 2-pack.
I agree. Even though I own Street Biker Robin because
For reasons.
it's me we're talking about here. So.
Yeah. Because you don't, give into peer pressure. You do you.
Exactly. I march to the beat of my own drum.
I want Street Biker Robin and Magic Rocks, okay?
Exactly.
Screw this.
Yeah.
I got this for my birthday, 1996. So, play with it for a while because it was sort of towards the end of, midway to the end of grade 7 where I sort of stopped playing with toys so much. Not completely, but for the once I hit high school, I definitely did. But the sad thing is, I had these, and over the course of time, I don't know where they are.
Sad.
But and that's what I was going to say. I don't have a Batman in my Batman Forever Batmobile because I don't have this Batman anymore. I did buy the Robin loose off eBay last year. It was like $15. I haven't got a Batman yet, but I would like to get one eventually just to sort of have them together again. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the original ones anymore. I even remember I kept the top of the packaging and like had it stuck on my wall because it's really cool artwork.
Yeah, the artwork's great.
Of those two characters. But yeah, alas, it's a bit of a hole in my collection. I don't have the two of them.
That was a sad story.
There's always Christmas.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are great. I will say I've also looked for these like loose because I have the one, but it's still in the package, and I'm like, I don't want to open it, but I kind of would love to get these guys loose because they are cool, and it'd be nice to have them out. So I was doing a little digging around, and to buy them loose was not much cheaper to buy another one in the package.
Yeah.
So I just bought another one in the package. And when it comes, I'm just going to see which one's in better shape and open the other one.
as
Makes sense.
And I like the accessories too. You got that Batarang that like with the Ultimate Batman, it's more based on the concept art, but it's still a cool, nice, hefty Batarang. It's a decent size, and it's the really weird shaped grappling hook launcher, but it's still really cool and at least close to what it looks like in the movie.
Yeah. Yep. They just get one each. What's funny is as I was looking for these guys, people were selling just the accessories.
Also believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I was like, I mean, I guess if you've got everything except the one thing, I guess it would be helpful, but it's a lot of trouble to go to just to get a weird grapple launcher.
Exactly.
So the Guardians of Gotham City, heroic power in a double dose. Yeah. Should be on every Bat fan's wall.
Probably should have just written that as a double dose of heroic power. That makes more sense, but
you're right. That is better.
That is better.
Why didn't you work at Kenner back in 1995?
I don't know. I was 10. I'm sure I would have loved that.
Yep. All right. So there you go. There's 10 Batman Forever cool toys. So Jay had the electronic pinball game, the Two-Face single figure, because it looks exactly like the movie, and the Street Biker Robin.
For reasons
for
unexplained.
Pure weirdness.
Reasons unexplained.
Brendan had the Batmobile that lit up, shot missiles, and brought him joy. As well as the Batcave Power Center and the Ultimate Batman. And then I had the Batmobile Power Center, the Riddler Two-Face 2-pack, and the Batcave. And then we all agreed that the Guardians of Gotham City 2-pack is a classic. It's one for the ages. So 10 cool Batman Forever toys. Very fun. Awesome. Good job, guys. We'll do it again for Batman Returns in 6 months.
Sweet.
We're just going to go back to it. Heck yeah. So very cool. Those are just 10 of our favorites. What are some of your guys' favorites? Let us know. Send it to us in the Wayne Manor mailbox or on X or on Facebook or whatever, because we love talking toys, and especially when they're Batman toys. And it's always fun when one pops up where you're like, oh my God, I don't even remember that. How cool is that? But just got to be careful because then I end up buying one. So very cool. Batman Forever toys. Always fun to chat about it. We are also going to talk about a couple more things. But before that, I do have to give a shout out to our friends and sponsors over at Manscaped. So 2024 is in full swing. We're in February, but you got to check in on your New Year's resolutions. See how you're doing. And our friends at Manscaped are there to help you. It's never too late to level up your grooming game and keep your bush tamed. Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to looking good, feeling good, and turning the page on confidence this year. So whether you're going for a trim or the clean-shaven look, this trimmer's got you covered. Trusted by over 10 million men worldwide, now is your time to get a grip on your grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code BATSCAPED for 20% off and free shipping. The ball has dropped. It dropped 2 months ago, but don't drop the ball on your balls. Go to manscaped.com. The trimmer is great. It's the best one that you're going to find. They have all kinds of other great grooming products depending on what it is you need, what it is you prefer. They've got you covered. Go do some perusing, do some shopping, and if you're going to make a purchase, just please use that promo code BATSCAPED to save some money, save the 20% off, get the free shipping, and then you're also supporting Holy BatCast in the process. Big thank you to everybody who's already done it. I know that you guys have already been happy with your Manscaped because you've told me, and I love to hear it. And I know I've been happy with my Manscaped. So if you're still on the fence trying to figure it out, just go to the website, see if anything strikes your fancy. No pressure. It's all good. But if you buy something, I'm sure you will enjoy it, and you should use that promo code BATSCAPED to get that discount. So thank you to Manscaped, and thank you to everybody who's already made that purchase. We really do appreciate it. But now we're going to go back and do something that we have not done in a minute. We're going to review another episode of The Batman. Right. I don't even remember the last time we did this, guys. It's been a minute.
I didn't even remember that we were doing it.
Well, there you have it.
You're the one who wanted to.
And this was for you. It's for you, Brendan. But this happens a lot when we do these shows, is we fall in and out of it. It's fine. So where did we leave off? Season 2, Episode 8, JTV. So this one sees the Joker again with his pals Punch and Judy. It aired on July 9th of 2005. So Joker, as he likes to do, is taking over the airwaves of Gotham and has created JTV. And he decides that he wants Gotham to know what he's up to. Let him in on his plans. So first of all, he lets them know he wants to kidnap the mayor. Nice to have the mayor back. The mayor with the voice of Adam West. Always makes you happy to hear Adam West. And then Batman's hot on his trail, and Ellen Yin's got a new partner. Jay, what's Ellen Yin's new partner's name?
His name is Cash Tankinson.
Cash Tankinson, voiced by the one and only Patrick Warburton.
Yes. Could only be voiced by Patrick Warburton.
So Cash Tankinson and Ellen Yin are out there helping Batman chase down the Joker, although Cash wants to also take down the Batman, as new cops in Gotham like to. Okay. And the Joker takes a liking to Cash too, just like you, Jay.
I mean, Joker is a maniac, but a man of taste as well. So
Joker also decides he's going to take Cash. So he manages to get a hold of Cash Tankinson, and he gasses both the mayor and Cash. And then he sets up little gas I don't know, whatever we're going to call them, gas devices all over Gotham. He's going to gas all of Gotham because what else is the Joker going to do? It's a Thursday. This is what he does.
Exactly.
And then Batman and Ellen Yin have to stop him. Shockingly, they do, of course. And Cash decides, you know what? He's going to take a break. He's going to take a desk job for a minute. And so Ellen Yin and Batman continue to be partners on the sly. And maybe we'll see the return of Cash someday. So JTV. Jay, what'd you think?
So Cash Tankinson has joined the ranks of such luminaries as Alexander Knox, Chip Shrek, and that guy who pointed at Katie Holmes at the end of Batman Begins as one of my favorite Batman characters of all time. He is ridiculous. He is amazing. He is every single cliche of the loose cannon cop who dispenses his own brand of justice. He speaks in the third person and wears sunglasses at night. I love that guy so much because he is so silly, and the episode gets like a B. It's all right.
That's fair. And what's funny is when Cash showed up, he is very amusing. And I had the vaguest recollection of him, but I was like, Jay Yaws is going to love this guy.
I totally loved this guy.
I could just tell. And that's great because he is a lot of fun. As for the episode itself, yeah, I agree with you. It's fine. You know, it's pretty standard Joker shenanigans, but entertaining enough. I enjoyed it well enough. But yeah, the randomness of Cash Tankinson is what really makes it memorable. I will also. Go ahead.
Well, I did genuinely laugh at the very beginning of the episode when, right before the credits start rolling, or the intro starts rolling, where Bruce and Alfred, they see this broadcast of Joker on the television, and Bruce rushes off to go stop him, and Alfred kind of just deadpans, shall I record it for you, sir? That legitimately made me laugh out loud. I just was not expecting that.
I was going to say also the final shot of the episode was like beautiful Batman animation.
It really was. Yes.
It was really, really great. Like Ellen Yin was saying something about her partner, and you look out the window and you just see Batman mostly in silhouette, and he swings down and he stays mostly in silhouette. You can still see a little detail, but sometimes this show, the animation is really outstanding. And that one, I was like, ooh, that's great. I love that. Brendan, tell me all the things you loved about it.
All the things you talked about. You said everything that I could. I couldn't add any more.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. I love that. That's very insightful, and I'm glad you did your homework to make sure that you can contribute.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So good. I'm glad we agree. All right. So, Jay, letter grade, you said a B, right?
A B. I mean, it really is. It's an entertaining episode. It goes by quickly. It's fun. There's really not a single lull in it. The actual story itself, we've seen done before, Joker kidnapping people, broadcasting it, whatever. But, you don't always have to reinvent the wheel. It can just be a good time. This was a good time. I'd say a B plus, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was going to say B plus because you're right. It's pretty standard Joker stuff, but hey, it works. It always does. And I give it a little bit of a bump, not just for Cash, but for Adam West. Yeah. When I hear his voice as the mayor, it always makes me happy.
And Ming Na is always cool too. I like her as Ellen Yin.
And interesting to get some callbacks to Bennett, even though for a minute I thought Cash was going to be Bennett in disguise because they mentioned it a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
So it was interesting. There's a little bit of continuity there talking about Bennett.
Yeah.
But yeah, solid, entertaining, fun episode.
Let's do 2 B pluses. Just
great. 2 B pluses. Agreed. Brendan, B plus sound good to you?
B plus. Yep.
Great. Oh my God. We're so on the same, but we're so in sync today. This is great.
We are.
So yeah, JTV, it's a good time. B plus, happy with that. And again, that's season 2, episode 8. The next one up, whenever we get to it, will be Ragdolls to Riches. Interesting. Okay.
Maybe it'll have Ragman. I doubt it.
That's why I was tricked because it came up, as the next one, and there's a character called Ragdoll who looks a lot like Ragman, but is not Ragman. So
Ragman's cool.
Throws you off.
I wish it did. But whatever.
All right, well, that's the Batman. Now let's check in with you, fine feathered finks, and crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox. It's time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren, what is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all Master Wayne.
We got some emails, guys, because of course we do, don't we always? What do we got here? This one here is from our pal Julian Chan. And Julian is kind enough to often make artwork for us when we need it. So thank you, Julian. He did the nice little love interest artwork that I shared for the last episode. But he says, hey, Andy, Jamie, and that from Brissy. Brizzy. Oh, excuse me.
You can call me a but don't say the
say
slang
Brissy.
term for my city wrong.
Excuse me. Anyway, he says, listening to your discourse about the DCEU made me think about the highs and lows from the past 10 years, mostly the highs. With that in mind, and because nobody asked, I made a top 10 list of my favorite things from the DCEU. A bit different from your best moments, and a bit of fun, which your other listeners could chime in on. So here's my list. Number 10, Victor and Rosa from Shazam. Number 9, The First Flight from Man of Steel. Number 8, the Wonder Woman theme. Number 7, the Wonder Woman movie posters. Number 6, Batman's suit from BVS. Number 5, the Steppenwolf design from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Number 4, the Man of Steel soundtrack. Number 3, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Number 2, No Man's Land from Wonder Woman. And number 1, the Martha Rescue from BVS. Ciao for now. Jazzy Jules. All right. Thank you, Julian. I love this. I like the idea of just opening it up to 10 different things of any sort that you love from the DCEU. So it's a great list. Can't really argue with any of these. So love it, Julian. And maybe it's another idea for another episode down the road.
Wrap that down.
We've ranked everything else.
All those things in some way, shape, or form. Though,
I mean, for the most part.
I liked Victor and Rosa. That was, one that everyone could surely agree on, but you might not think of with things like, the Martha Rescue and, amazing theme music and everything. Just two great, lovable characters in a great and lovable movie. That was a good call, Julian.
All right. Love it. All right, next email here is from Raymond. It says, hey guys, sorry in advance for the length of the email, but I wanted to hit you up with 2 questions or maybe 1 suggestion and 1 question. I think a lot of us love the Batman franchise in part because of his rogues gallery. I went way back and listened to your villain tournament, and while those are always entertaining, I feel like the top spots are never a surprise. Would you consider maybe a villain draft episode? For instance, if you were going to create your Sinister Six for Batman, who would you draft? Now, a question in follow-up to your episode with Rob Orff. I've always been interested in the psychology of Batman and presented at a conference a while back about the idea that Bruce could still be traumatized with the story of Batman playing out in his head. After all, many of his villains represent common childhood fears or anxieties, or even fictional characters that children would recognize, like the Mad Hatter. The theory stemmed from the Hatter's quote in Arkham, a serious house on serious earth. Sometimes I think the asylum is a head, where in a huge head thy dreams us into being. Perhaps it's your head, Batman. Arkham is a looking glass, and we are you. In a fantasy scenario where you get to write the last Batman book ever, how does the story end? With a psychological deconstruction like that, like it was all in his head or it was all a dream, with an epic battle, with a quiet story with the Bat family, I'd love to know how you would wrap up the entire Batman saga. Thanks for taking the time, and thank you for the entertaining discussions, Ray. Thank you, Ray. The idea of a villain draft, that could be fun.
I've floated that before.
I'm down with that, because you're right. Like when it comes to ranking Batman's villains, like it's always going to be Joker. Sorry, it just always is, unless you're Jamie. But yeah, this could be a different way to do that. So I love that idea. And
you just need someone to host it, like to run it, and who's not actually part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting theory on everything, Batman's whole story being in Bruce's head. I think that's interesting. You could certainly look at it that way. And then, but how would you end Batman's story? That's interesting. Brendan, any thoughts?
There's this little cafe, see?
Mm-hmm.
Get a Fene Bronca.
I don't know. I say that as a joke, but part of me would like to give Bruce the happy ending that he deserves. For all his years of service, I guess, to Gotham City and the greater good, and if you're going by comics, like the world as a whole. But yeah, I don't know, like maybe a quiet moment with the Bat family. I want to see him go out on top as a winner. Anything more specific, I couldn't really give you without prep time, but yeah, something to that effect.
All right, Jay, thoughts?
Yeah, I completely agree. Even though there's a lot of, really like dramatic potential in Batman dying in a final battle against, one of his villains, or just running himself down and just becoming a, bitter, jaded husk of an old man. I like the character, and I like happy endings, so I'm gonna want to give him a happy ending. Give him something to where he does get to a day where Batman is no longer needed for the city. Batman is no longer needed for Bruce, and Bruce has his cake and eats it too, where he has fought crime as the Cape Crusader, but has also fought anything municipally and socially that could perpetuate crime through the Wayne Foundation and donations and hospitals and trauma clinics and anything like that, where everything he's done for the good of the city bears fruit and makes Gotham a good place to live. I would love to see Bruce have a happy ending, whether that's with romance or with the rest of the Bat family by his side. That could be up in the air, but just for Bruce himself, I want to see his mission successful.
I agree with both you guys. That's exactly what I would do. I don't want him to die in battle. I don't want him to die bitter and alone. I don't. And I feel like giving him a happy ending, he runs off in love with Selena, like that's still not an ending. That's still. So if I'm talking like the end of his life, I think it's both of what you said. I think it would be a peaceful and beautiful goodbye, which is frankly what we all want, surrounded by his friends and family and loved ones, surrounded by the Bat family, knowing that everything he did over his entire life to make Gotham and the world a better place has made, he has left the world a better place than what he came in, and knowing that his legacy will live on after he's gone. And like, that's, again, it's all any of us could ask for. And I want that for Batman.
Yeah. I want him to be allowed to move on, and I want Bruce to feel like he's allowed to move on.
Yeah. But I want it to be a moment of love,
Yes, exactly.
Surrounded by the family, by the Bat family.
Agreed.
All right. Next message here is from Ben. It says, "Hey guys, if you've yet to see Crisis Part 1, the new animated movie, I'm assuming you've seen the ads for Part 2. If you haven't, there's a quick shot of the Bat family with so many members assembled on a single rooftop. So here's my question. For the sake of argument, remove Crisis from the equation. What would you guys want to see from an animated multiverse movie focused on the Bat family? I know you aren't big Batman Beyond fans, but seeing Terry McGinnis fly into frame got my brain firing like the exhaust of the Batmobile. So many possibilities. Thanks for the great pods as always. From all the Earths, Benjamin." Thanks, Benjamin. I have seen that shot. I have not watched the trailer, but I have seen the shot of the Bat family. So, very cool. So, what would we want to see from an animated multiverse movie focused on the Bat family? Interesting.
I have a thought.
Yeah. Okay, go for it.
So we're obviously talking animated, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we're not limited to what we can do. I want to see a multiverse Batman movie where you've got Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, and Ben Affleck, all of them, Pattinson, all of them in there in some level, and combine all those worlds. You've got your Chris O'Donnell Robin, your Alicia Silverstone Batgirl, and you could have fun with it too, and have your multiple Catwomen in there as well, and yeah, just like a huge Batman mashup. I don't know what the story would be. I don't know, I don't know how it would work, but that would be something I'd love to see. It to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'll just say ditto, and then I would say if we're doing all the live action versions of Batman, but in an animation, I think we could also mix in the animated versions and do like Super Friends Batman,
yeah,
Batman the Animated Series, Batman the Brave and the Bold, the Batman, like bring in, yeah, I like you said, essentially across the Batverse with animated representations of all the different versions of Batman, starting from 1939 to present, live action, comic book, animation, and yeah, just have fun mixing them all together.
Yep.
Really nothing to add. I mean, equating it to Across the Spider-Verse, I mean, obviously don't go with that same animation style, but there have already been enough animation styles with different Batman properties that it would be super easy just to use those to differentiate the different multiversal Batmans, and then even going based off for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin and Batman Returns and The Dark Knight and all those. It would be easy enough to create animated worlds stylized around those live action properties while keeping them animated. And really, I think Batman is maybe the only other character in fiction that you could acceptably do that with, aside from Spider-Man, just because there have been so many iterations of the character that still ring true as the character, so it doesn't just feel like we're throwing in random, well, here's pirate Batman and Viking Batman, but also we can throw in pirate and Viking Batman too because they've been in there too, so whatever.
Yeah, yep, agreed. Cool. All right. Next email is from Brandon. It says, "Hey guys, I wanted to thank you for your recent episode looking back at the DCEU. It was strangely cathartic reliving the past 10 years, the good and the bad, and the parts where I was compelled to read the comment section. I wanted to thank you guys for being a beacon of positivity in a sea of negativity. I found this podcast thanks to BVS, and I look forward to experiencing the next era with you guys. I also wanted to address a listener question which inquired about the different Crisis events. Crisis on Infinite Earths was the multiverse shattering event which defined DC. It was named after other crossovers between Earth 1 and Earth 2. These were usually named something like Crisis on Earth 1. The sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths was called Infinite Crisis, and it brings back some of the characters from Crisis on Infinite Earths. Dark Crisis was the most recent event, but I personally don't feel it was a direct sequel. Lastly, we have the real reason I wanted to talk Crisis, 0 Hour Crisis in Time. It has Wave Rider, it counts backwards, and it's the 30th anniversary this year. I guess this was a convoluted way of asking if you guys would be willing to review either the series or the Batman Zero issues. Either way, I hope that was helpful to the listener who wrote in. Thanks for all you guys do, Brandon." Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. And thank you for addressing the Crisis question, because I will say I'm still a little confused because there's a lot there. But thank you for addressing it, because you obviously have a better understanding of it than I do. So yeah, thank you for sharing, and I'm glad you enjoyed the DCEU look back. Yeah, like cathartic is a good word for it, so I appreciate that. Jay, you might have something to add to the Crisis conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. I honestly was expecting 0 Hour to come up in there, so the fact that was the crux of his comment was kind of fun. But he really, I mean, he touched on everything with Crisis, so I don't really have anything to add there. I don't think it's a bad idea if you were needing like an episode idea, maybe not to focus on 0 Hour itself. But a lot of the Batman comics from 0 Hour were really fun. Like the Robin issue of 0 Hour has Tim Drake and Dick Grayson Robin teaming up. And I think there's even a Superman episode, a Superman issue where Superman encounters various Batmans from across like the timeline. So it's almost like the many Batmans of the multiverse, but in a Superman issue. So that one might be a lot of fun to look at too.
Thanks, Jay. See? Always good to have you here. You know stuff like that.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Well, guys, my voice is giving out a little bit, so I'm going to close the mailbox. I have a bunch more in here, so if I've not gotten to yours yet, don't take it personally. The good news is I've got a few more episodes coming in the next 2 weeks because I'm going out of town, so I got to record some in advance. So stay tuned. We'll get to these other emails at that point. So thank you guys who've written in. We love hearing from you. If you have not written in or you've got something to send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. But that's where we're going to wrap up this episode. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Brendan, I'm glad we could do this, and I'm glad you could make it.
Likewise, this was really fun. I've been looking forward to this episode pretty much since the first toy episode you did with Jay. So to be a part of the Batman Forever one just seemed right, didn't it?
It sure did. It was all you. I'll tell you something. I'm prepping our 10th anniversary episode. And that means I went back and listened to our very first conversation, Brendan. And you were and you were all about it was all about Batman Forever. It was so fun. So stay tuned for our 10th anniversary special because there's going to be some fun little trips down memory lane. And look at us now, Brendan. Look at us now.
Well, podcast listener to friends to lovers, you can just draw the line. It's great.
It's like it's like all the great love stories.
I was going to say, if you need help with your throat, I got a trick I can show you.
Oh man. Anyway, where are you skulking about these days?
Well, Facebook in the Real Fans groups is where you'll find me. I'm the same as you other guys. Like, I'm very rarely on X these days. I don't post that much anymore.
I keep it to post the new episodes of the show, and I don't pay much attention otherwise.
Yeah, if I'm really bored and like having an epic shit or something, I might scroll on X or something just to kill time. But other than that, yeah, pretty much just the Real Fans groups on Facebook is the safe bet.
Well, and more importantly, here on Holy BatCast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, obviously. Jay, always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Thanks again for coming back and talking toys.
Of course, and glad to be a podcast listener / friend / awkward third wheel here.
Yeah. Welcome to the party, pal. Sit in that chair and don't make a lot of noise.
No, it's a pleasure. It's always great talking to you guys.
Where can we find you?
Real Fans groups. I've started using Letterboxd a lot more because everyone else seems to enjoy it, and it's pretty cool little toy there. X and Instagram and stuff. I'm there. It's either my own name at JAYAWS or at Comic Pause, which is my little comic site and everything. But I'm around and just hanging out and talking Batman, comics, movies, whatever.
Sweet. Love it. I already told you guys where to find me, but thank you as always for joining us. Thanks for downloading or streaming the show. Please do follow Holy BatCast wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And please rate and review us. If you love the show, that's the best way you can show your support, and it doesn't cost a penny. Just rate and review us if it's a nice review. We would love that. Again, find Holy BatCast on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast. If you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. Again, the 10th anniversary special is next, so if you have anything for the 10th anniversary, go ahead and send that in as well. Our theme music was created by the talented Gaurav Venkateswar. You can find his work at gvtunes.com. And don't forget to check out our sponsors. Go to manscaped.com, do a little shopping, and use that promo code BATSCAPED for 20% off and free shipping. But that will do it for this episode. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of Brendan and Jay, I've been Andy. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for. Excuse me.
Just remember you're leaving me that bat emblem.
Yep. My voice has been weak today anyway, so I think it's just finally.
Also, dibs on the Guardians of Gotham City set.
Great. You guys not even dead yet. You're already calling dibs on everything. That's fine. Enjoy. I hope you choke on it.
Why would I put it in my mouth? You know what? Never mind.
Well, Jamie gets Catherine.
That's true. I've already agreed to that. Catherine hasn't agreed to that, but I have.